like I said, I've been emphasizing on a thing
Okay.
which says, what will you study there and what kind of problem that
Mm.
you're going to come back and solve. So that is for the student the most
Okay.
important thing to qualify for a visa. Number of students going to the US in the past 15 years, there has been a significant interest and increase for the US visas and the students going there. So the last year, 2023 and 24, there were close to about 331,000 students, those who went to the US, which is a very large number. And the OPT, which is after you complete your education, increased by 41%, which is again phenomenal, which means that, a lot of apprehension students that, the new regime is coming in, what will happen. But let's be very, very positive that, the past 15 years, we've seen a huge interest in going to the US. If we talk about the enrollment to the US, it has increased by 300%. And most of the students, those who have gotten their visas, of the 331,000 are basically from Telangana and Andhra Pradesh and rest of the India. So that's a big number. And we're looking at more positive things in the coming days. So now that you would have all your passport, your visa appointment letter, your DS-160, your I-20, and your service fee receipt, which means that you're somewhere ready to take the visa interview. All right. Now, if we talk about the financial documents, so there are two set of documents. One that you had sent for your admission process, the financial papers, which included your bank balance certificate or the education loan, or a combination of these two. However, when you go in for your visa interview, the officer's objective is not to look at the availability of funds. They are looking at the annual income, they're looking at the financial strength of the family, they're looking at your ties to your home country. So you need to carry a whole lot of documents that we'll keep discussing when we move forward. So like I said, they are looking at your financial strength. So who all can sponsor you? So there is a confusion that I'd said in the document for my I-20, which belonged either to the bank, which was the education loan, or my father had sponsored me. So is there a possibility that I can carry documents of my parents, like my mother is also working, my grandparents are also there? Yes, you can carry all of those to show not only your social ties, but also your financial ties. So the officers are looking at holistically that how strong your family is here financially. All right. So in case if your family is into business, then you need to carry your business documents. If your parents are working, employed, then proof of employment, right? However, income tax returns would remain common for both last 3 years. Proof of investments like fixed deposits, shares, bonds, mutual funds, copies of property papers, right? So property papers, if they are in regional language, it's okay to carry. You don't have to get it translated into English. And then, of course, all your education documents, school certificate, your college degree, your test scores, you need to carry them when you're going for your visa interview, right? If you're employed, right? If you're applying for a master's degree, and if you've been working for the past 2 or 3 years, then your employment offer or your joining letter, your salary slips for the last 3 months to show that you're currently employed. And if you've resigned, then your relieving letter. If you've not resigned, it is not required or necessary for you to resign at this point of time. All right. You can do that once you get your visa. Now, I'll jump straight to the interview because interview is interaction between two people, visa officers and you. And there are hundreds and thousands of people applying for visas. So the officers have designed question where he wants to figure out your intentions of going and study in the US. So if you understand the visa law, it becomes easier for the officer to understand your intentions, right? So broadly, anyone who's applying for a non-immigrant visa, which includes an F1, a student visa, the officer will consider him as a potential immigrant until proven otherwise. So you have to show your home country. So it is at two different levels. Reason to go to study in the US and your should first be focused on your professional goals, your financial ties, right? And then your social ties, of course, right? Now, there are two kinds of students applying for visas. One, those who want to go to the US, and one, those who want to go and study in the US. Those who want to go and study in the US, they would have done some research, they would have looked at various colleges, then chosen a particular college based on their requirement, their skill sets, their professional goals. Okay. So we talk about the general question the officer might ask, which could be why do you want to go and study in the US? Why this particular college? How will you fund your education? What will you study there? Why can't you do this in India? What are your future plans? So we'll keep discussing this when we move forward. All right. So like I said, I'm sure when you go in for the visa interview, the officer doesn't know you. there are close to about 500, 600 people applying for visas, and the officer has very limited time, probably 2 minutes for each person. In that 2 minutes, the officer cannot possibly know you, right? Unless you provide relevant information voluntarily. It should not be discouraged. So it is obvious that the visa officer doesn't know you. So you need to provide relevant information voluntarily, right? So now what happens is that because of the digital platform, there are so many information, so much of information which is floating around, right? There is also like, how to frame an answer. But it's very important to understand your own requirements, all right? Do not go and follow the regular stuff. However, it is very important to understand what the officer wants. What are what are your requirements? And then club those visa requirements and your answer to frame an answer which belongs to you. All right. It is very important for you to create a storyline, you know, which has a very clear objective of your career, right? The course content has to be the hero, the curriculum, the teaching methodology. How do you articulate your answers which resonates with your professional goals is very important, right? Not just why do you want to go to the US to do my master's, that's just not going to help the visa officer to understand. For example, let's say that you want to become a data scientist and your academic requirements. For example, if you want to go and pursue, masters in computer science, so what would you like to be? You would like to be a data analyst, data architect, data engineer, or machine learning is very, very solid reason for you to go and study there with your career objectives. Or a computer scientist because you want to be a data science analyst or a cybersecurity specialist, software development, not just that I want to go and do my master's in computer science, because I want to get into data science and analytics, right? And then also bring it very focused. I want to go and study because my professional goal is to help and get into some kind of expertise. For example, if you aim to become a business analyst, you focus on programs that teach data analytics. All right. So the students must choose the right program because when you go and study in the US, so your focus should be on the program, not on the university that university is highly ranked or stuff like that. You should be looking at the program because program would help you understand where your career is going. So your goal has to be, let's say for example that you want to do a you know uh, be a data scientist, or you want to be, like I said, a computer scientist. So unless you understand what is the kind of program that you're looking at, it would be difficult for you to convince the officer, right? So it is very important to understand your program, and then of course that by studying this program, your skills would develop. Because one of the students who went recently for his visa interview, the officer asked him very categorically, "What are the skills that you're going to develop once you study there?" So whether it be technical skill, your managerial skills, interpersonal skills, what is it that brings US for your skill development, right? So by tying your academic pursuit to your professional goals will create the understanding for a visa officer that you have a reason to go and you have a reason to come back, right? So don't give vague answers. It has to be very, very clear. So, like I said, if you understand where your career is going, for example, uh, somebody who looked at Book My Show, who created this app, understood that a person had to go all the way to a movie hall to buy a ticket, select a seat, or look for a particular date. But then he looked at the options and created a Book My Store. So if you say that I want to go and study in the US because I want to be a computer scientist, because I want to come back and develop an app, because it would really help or solve this problem. So understand what problem is there and how you can solve that problem. Okay. Similarly, it is important to tell the officer why have you chosen a particular college. Not that it's affordable, not that my uncle lives there, not that the weather over there is good, but inform the officer that you did your research, you looked at various colleges, you uh, uh, applied to five, you received four admits, but out of those four, you chose this one based on the requirement that matches your interest, right? Which has to be the course content, it has to be the curriculum, the kind of research which is happening in America, right? The ranking of the department. One is the department ranking, and the other one is the college ranking. So focus more on the department because that's going to be the key for your career, right? Then, of course, what will you study there? you must know what subjects you want to go and study there. Not just I want to do a computer science, but what in computer science, right? And that again should resonate with your career goals, right? It is very important for the officer to understand that you've chosen this program because you understand your career, right? And then what problem you've identified that you can solve. It's very important, right? Then why US? Why not India? So this is where the officer wants to know whether you just want to go to the US or have you looked at a couple of schools or colleges in India, and then you've compared the course content, the education system, the teaching methodology, right? The kind of research which is happening, the programs which are being taught, are they industry oriented or not? So you got your answer should say that I did look at a couple of Indian schools. When I compared the course content, the curriculum, the professors, the teaching methodology, I've realized that US would be a better option for me because all these things which I want that I'm getting in the US. Plus, I'll be getting a lot of international exposure, which would help me in my career eventually, right? How will you fund yourself? Now, most of the time, this question when comes, the students get confused that I have to show the availability that I have enough funds to support myself. I have taken an education loan which covers my tuition fees and my living expense is not a good answer, right? Because when we talk about the visa law, the law says the student must show that they have strong ties to the home country. And how do you prove your strong ties? By telling the officer that your family is supporting you, they have annual income, they have savings, investments, and properties. That's how you show your social ties and your financial ties to your home country. And then talk about the availability of funds that I've taken an education loan, which covers my tuition fees and my living expense as well. Okay. All right. So what are your future plans? Here the officer wants to know a clear information that why will you come back, right? So your answer should straight away start by your career goals in India. What are the companies which are in India that you want to come back and work for, and how will this education help you achieve those? Not just saying that I'll come back because I've got my parents here. I'm the only child. All that doesn't work for the visa officer. For example, you can always say that once I complete my education in the US, I want to come back and work in India because artificial intelligence and machine learning have applications in almost every sector. Whether you are in healthcare, finance, marketing, or F&B industry. So identify your own professional goals, the companies that you want to come back and work for, and talk about how the impact would be here once you come back, right? The kind of research and innovation opportunities that you get in India once you study in America, that you can contribute to the cutting edge research and development, new models here, which can be used for marketing or for finance, right? So you have to club all those things together so that it appears to the officer that you've done your research correctly, right? How the artificial intelligence, machine learning, cybersecurity, or various other programs taught in US are impacting the technology in the workplaces in India. So what is the future of those programs here in India, right? You could always say that I want to come back and let's say work with Amazon because I want to specialize in machine learning and artificial intelligence because Amazon or these programs would help Amazon forecasting or inventory management, right? So those are the key things that you have to talk about. Like, why would Amazon like to hire somebody with artificial intelligence? Because they can forecast the requirements, right? Or you could talk about Microsoft or Netflix, how the Netflix now is developing so much content which can get personalized for each person. So have those specifics with you when you go in for your visa interview, right? A lot of students also ask me like, sir, should I mention OPT or not? If the officer says, would I like to work in the US? Should I say yes or no? All right. So if the officer is asking you very categorically, would you like to do your internships or your OPT? Your answer has to be yes, because OPT is a part of the education system. It's not out or it's not, something which is not there. If you look at your I-20, the third page says very categorically that you are authorized to work in the US under OPT. So your answer has to be yes, right? What if you're offered a job in the US? So this is different than OPT. A job would essentially mean that you've completed your studies, you've done your OPT, and then if you get a job, would you like to work there? So in here, you have to answer, sir, I would prefer to come back and work in India because US education would have more value here. So my career growth in India would be much bigger and better. Okay. So if I have to break it down, the entire process, the office is looking at two major things: your reason to go to the US, which has to be that are you a legitimate student? Have you done your research? Have you looked at various colleges? Have you do you understand the program? And then how does that resonate with your career objectives? And of course, the main thing is why will you come back? So the officer is looking at your reason to go and your reason to come back. So those are the two key areas the officer is looking at, right? So now when you're going for your OFC or your VAC, you just have to carry your passport, your visa appointment letter, your DS-160, your I-20, and your service fees. All right. So you have to sign your I-20. If you see your I-20, the first page, the last line, it says put your signatures. And if you're under the age of 18, then you have to make your parents also sign that. If you're above the age of 17 or 18, then you don't need your parents to sign it. You can mention the interview appointment date as your date of signing that I-20, right? So when you go in for your counselor appointment, you have to carry, of course, your passport, your visa appointment letter, the DS-160 I-20 service, all the financial papers, education, and work-related documents, right? I also get a lot of questions, what should I wear for my interview? Well, it is an interview and it is not a job interview. So you are going as a student. So wear something which is smart, which is not over the top like a coat, pant, and a tie. I mean, unless you wear it, if you're going for an MBA program, if you put in 5 years of work experience, yes, you can dress up as a professional. Otherwise, like a student, a nice shirt and a jeans is fine, it's good enough. When should you reach the embassy? About half an hour before the interview. How do I carry my documents? Clear folder, any folder would work. Well, any folder works. However, if you have a clear folder, that's better. But if you have a leather case, it all works. It's not that they will not let you go in. A lot of students also ask me, what do I tell the officer? Will I come during my breaks or not? The answer is that if my professor gives me a project to work on, I would love to do that project. Else, I'll come to India, meet my family. I've got strong ties here. How do you get to know that your visa is approved? Once after the visa interview, the officer will keep your passport and congratulate you. And you will also get an SMS after 2 or 3 working days to come and collect your passport. It takes about good 5 or 6 days to get your passport back, right? How much fund do I have to show in the saving account? Should we maintain a certain amount? Not necessarily, but your overall expense should match up your savings and investments, which includes your fixed deposit, shares, bonds, mutual funds. If you've taken the education loan, carry your education loan along with all the other financial papers when you go in for your visa interview. I think I've covered quite a lot. So thank you very much. And then I'll be ready to take your questions. Thank you, Mansi. We can take over.
Sure. So maybe, guys, if you want to, we can have a mock interview session with Sir. Like
Yeah.
we can nominate 2, 3 students. So guys, raise your hand if you want to participate. I'll give access to everyone, but make sure we do it in a very professional setting. Like your video has to be on, your video has to be in a clear lit background, your audio has to be visible. So if you're ready for it, then raise your hand, or you can take 5, 10 minutes and get back, right? So I'll repeat it again. If we nominate you, please switch on your camera, switch on your audio, and let's do it very professional. Correct? Okay. We have Komal. Uh, Komal, you can. Okay, I think. Okay, Ishita. Yes, Pawan.
Hi, Pavan. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I am.
Hi. So can you switch on your video so that I can, also look at you? Right. Yeah. So, Pavan, can
Yeah,
you tell me what are you currently doing?
I currently working in a Vestas Firm Private Limited as a civil site engineer since 6 years.
For the last 6 years?
Yeah,
Okay. And you're going to the US to study what?
I want to pursue MS in engineering management in Robert Morris University.
Okay. All right. And have you ever applied for a visa before?
No, I haven't applied.
Very good. Did you appear for the GRE?
No, my institution doesn't require.
Okay, great.
GRE. I have taken a Duolingo test.
Hmm,
I have secured a score of around 120 out of 160.
understood. Very good. And do you understand the program and the subject that you want to go and study there?
Yeah, I understand.
Good. So let me ask you. So the first thing you need to remember is that the visa officer doesn't know you. Okay. Close to about 500, 600 people applying for visas. They've got very limited time. All right.
Yeah,
You have to be a little proactive. So I'm going to ask you questions. When you give me an answer, I'll tell you whether your answer is correct or what is the mistake that you've made. Okay.
okay.
Right. So let me ask you, why do you want to go and study in
Okay.
the US?
I want to study in the US because US is a popular study destination for international students among higher education. And US has a diverse student community. And I would love to improve my skills. And I would want to enhance my career growth by pursuing MS from a US.
Okay. So now understand. So I'm sure you must have listened to your answer. You heard your answer, right?
Yeah,
Like I said, the officer doesn't know you. I also don't know you, right? So are you a physiotherapist?
no.
Are you a sports specialist?
I am a what? I come again. I have not here. Your voice is cut.
Are you a sports specialist?
No, I am not a sports
So are you a
specialist.
doctor?
No.
So how would the officer know that why do you want to go and study this? This is a very general answer, you know.
Okay, yeah.
Instead, say, sir, that, after completing my bachelor's here, BTech, I've been working in the industry for X number of years. I have been working on these platforms. However, over the past 6 years, I've realized how the technology has changed, right? So I would like to go to the US to pursue masters in engineering management because working after 6 years, I'm now ready to take on bigger roles where I would also understand how to manage the leading projects and also upgrade my technical skills
Okay.
for a better career growth. So that's how you take the officer along with you, then it becomes your answer
Okay.
because the officer wants to know you. All right. So that's the reason
Okay.
there's an interview.
Yeah.
All right. So that's your first question. And that's the first suggestion.
Okay.
All right. So why have
Okay.
you chosen this particular university or who told you about this university?
Yeah. I have chosen Robert Morris University for pursuing MS Engineering Management as it has a perfect course structure and curriculum which matches my keen interests in doing some majors like project management and global engineering management, which I want to pursue from under graduation as there is a we want to do a more practical knowledge in these core subjects. I choose this university, and one of my professors also suggested me to pursue MS in Robert Morris University.
Okay. So did you only apply to Robert Morris? Did you apply to only one university?
No, I have applied to four universities. I have
Okay.
applied to four universities, and I have got
All
three
right.
admits. Unfortunately, I have rejected to one university.
Right. So is the three universities, any other university offering you a scholarship or something?
No,
Okay. So when the officer
no.
says, why have you chosen the Robert Morrison University? Your answer should be, sir, because I want to specialize in engineering management. Based on that, I did my research. In fact, I applied to four universities. I've got three admits. After careful comparison, I decided Robert Morrison would be a better university because of these reasons. Okay.
Okay,
Like I said, there are students, those who want to go to the US, and there are students, those who want to go and study in the US. A person who wants to go and study would have done his research. He would compare the course content, the curriculum, the teaching methodology. Only then he would have decided on a particular college.
okay.
Okay.
For structure and curriculum, we have to see it
So
first.
keep that in mind. It also tells the officer that you've done research, you've put in efforts.
Okay.
Okay. How will you take care of your expenses?
My father is funding me. My father is I have secured my education loan of around 50 lakhs,
Okay.
which is equal to that 49,000 US dollars. And additionally, my father has a savings of around 25 lakhs, which is equal to 29,000 US dollars. And we have a movable and immovable assets of around 5 crores.
Okay. So your father is a farmer.
Yeah, my father is a farmer
Okay. And so he takes land on
and he
contract.
do some. Public works also.
Okay. So look, the officer doesn't know.
No, we have our own lands.
Right. So the officer doesn't know. So how will you fund yourself?
Yeah.
So my father owns land which is approximately 2 acres, 3 acres, 5 acres, 10 acres, whatever it is, and his annual income through that
Okay.
is about X amount.
Okay. I have some small question. Does
Uh,
farmers, as my father is farmer, we don't have any ITRs.
Now that's okay. The officer knows that in India farmers are exempt for paying taxes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's
Okay.
not an issue.
If we tell such amount, he will ask some ITRs.
No, not necessarily. If you say that my father is a landlord, so we have our income through agriculture. So the officer understands the Indian policies.
Okay.
All right. And you got to talk
Okay.
about specific amount, that he earns about 50 lakh
Okay.
rupees, 25 lakh rupees annually. We have savings and
Okay.
investment of 60 lakhs. Our property is worth 5 crores.
Can I tell around?
Around.
Can I
Yeah,
tell
you can
around
give a
6
ballpark
lakhs
number.
per annum?
Yes, you can give a ballpark. It doesn't have to be specific,
Can.
like 24 lakhs, 30,000, not like that.
Okay.
All right. You can give a round figure.
Okay.
All right. Okay. And
Okay. I
all
want to
these
tell
amounts
him
are,
around 7 lakhs per annum.
yeah, that's okay. You can say that we have an annual income of about 7 lakhs. We've got savings and investments worth X amount. Our property is worth X amount. In addition to all this, I've taken education loan.
Okay.
Okay. Great.
All right.
Okay. So where do
Okay.
you see
Thank you,
yourself
sir.
5 years down the line? What are your future plans?
After pursuing my MS in the US, I will come back to India. As I am working since 6 years in this organization, one of my directors has promised me to give me a project manager role after pursuing my MS in the USA.
Okay. Very good answer. What if you're offered a job in the US? Would you consider working there?
No, I wouldn't consider
Why?
working there in the USA
Why?
because I have a strong ties in India, which since I have been working since 6 years in the same company itself.
All right. Very good. Very good. Good. So I've given you those tips. So please remember those tips. And then, wishing you all the best. Do you have any specific question that you want to ask?
No, sir. One question is there
Yeah.
regarding how do you funding your education? Can I tell only my father or else my family is funding me?
Family. You should always include your family. Like I gave my presentation where I said you have to bring your social ties and your financial ties together.
Okay. I will tell my family is funding me,
Huh.
and
They have a current
and I
annual
have
so much.
secured loan of around 50 lakhs.
Huh.
My family's annual income is around 6 lakhs per year,
Huh.
and we have a savings of around 25 lakhs,
Hmm.
and additionally I have secured a loan of around 50 lakhs,
Correct.
and we have 6 to 7 crores movable assets.
Correct. You can mention like this.
Can I convert it to US dollars is fine?
No, just talk
Can I
about
convert it to US dollars is fine, or it is an extra
rupees
thing?
is fine. Rupees
Indian
is fine.
rupees.
Yeah.
Oh,
Local currency is
okay.
fine. All right. Great. All the
Okay.
best.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you, sir.
Pawan. Thank you
You
so
made my
much.
day. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we can do maybe sir 2, 3 questions each student so that everyone can get a chance, right?
Oh, sure. I
Okay.
would love to. Yeah.
Yeah. Ajay is here. Ajay, you can go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Jay.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good
How are
evening.
you?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing great.
Good. So, any specific question that you have in mind that you want to ask?
Yes, sir. It's about the situation of my parents. Actually, I'm going to pursue PhD in pharmaceutical sciences, and I'm getting a fully funded position. However, as you have mentioned, for explaining the ties with the home country, my parents are not that, financially strong to explain about the financial situation of them. So in this case, how should I explain about the home ties?
Oh, well, so the most important thing, Ajay, for any student, whether he's going for PhD or undergrad or
Mhm.
masters, is your professional goals. Like I said, I've been emphasizing on a thing
Okay.
which says, what will you study there and what kind of problem
Mm.
that you're going to come back and solve. So that is for a student the most
Okay.
important thing to qualify for a visa.
Okay.
All right. In your answer for finances, you can say, how will you fund yourself? Sir, my parents are there to take care of my expenses. So listen to my answer. I will not give any
Okay.
amount. So how will you
Mhm.
fund yourself? So my parents are going to take care of my expenses. They have their own savings, investment, property. However, my college has offered me 100% scholarship.
Mhm.
So take it there.
Okay.
Okay. So the
Mhm.
officer just wants to know that, that you have informed that they're there to support you.
Okay.
They also know that anyone who's going for a PhD program, 99% would get 100% scholarship. But even if
Yes.
they're asking this, it is because they
Mhm.
want to listen to your answer. Have you given them some kind of intent which shows that you have ties to your own country?
Okay.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
Any other question?
So I can explain them about my career goals and future prospects in the
Right.
in
So
this
if
in
I
the
ask you the
industry.
first
And
question, why do you want to go to the US? In
Mhm.
this same question, give him the reason to go and study there and what problem you'll solve once you come back. So your first answer should, give him that complete 360 answer. So tell me, why do you want to go to the US?
Uh, Actually, I have done fundamental research in the oral delivery systems for the tablets and capsules in the India, that is in the NIPER, which is Central Government Institute. And for advancement and for learning the advancements in this field, like for example, computational fluid dynamics, which is growing field in the US and it is not has yet come to India. I want to learn these aspects, which will have a greater aspects, greater prospects in the future, and I would like to apply all those skills whenever I will come back to India
Okay. So
after
this is a
getting
very
that degree.
vague answer. Over here, you've told
Okay.
him that it is very prevalent in America. So you indirectly telling him that it is more used in America instead of here.
Okay.
Right? So you got to focus here. So where is fluid dynamics being used in India?
Okay, so yeah, as time is passing, the molecules which are coming into the market, they are going to be more difficult to deliver drugs, and for these difficult to deliver medicines, this computational fluid dynamics modeling will be much helpful
Okay. Where?
in India.
Which
I mean,
company?
yeah.
Which company? What kind of
Uh,
companies?
Yeah, for this is for the R&D of most of the pharmaceutical companies, including innovator companies, including Pfizer, AstraZeneca, no, Novartis, including
Right. So your
and
answer should
there are
be
a lot of other companies
your
as well.
answer should be that, sir, during pandemic and after pandemic, India is really coming up to be an international pharmaceutical player, right? Companies like
Yes.
AstraZeneca, companies like
Mm-hmm.
Ranbaxy's, companies like Tata Research are working on a lot of research and development. So I like to go to the US to do my PhD in fluid dynamics so that once I return back, I can contribute with these growing companies here.
Okay.
All right. So
Understood.
you've given him specifics,
Mm-hmm.
not just me.
Yes, understood.
Okay. So how many universities did you apply to and why have you chosen this one?
Not only this university, and actually, I approached one of the professor
Yeah.
who has a reputed background and having the same field which I am also working from my since my master's, and I want to continue my research in the same field, and uh,
So
because of which
how
I
do you make an
approached.
answer? If I ask you how many universities did you apply to, or did you only apply to this university? How will you answer? And why is the officer asking you this question? Understand his mindset.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, so let
Well,
me explain you. Let me explain
mhm.
you. The officer wants to know that have you chosen this university because they're offering you a scholarship? That's one. That's what he thinks,
Okay.
right? And he thinks that probably you just got one admit, and that's it.
Mhm.
Are you serious? So why have you chosen this university? So based on my requirement, because I wanted to, do my PhD in a very specific field, I've already put in X number of years, I've written so many papers, and I was looking at a professor who's working in a similar field. So in fact, I did my
Oh,
research, but when I stumbled on this particular professor who teaches at this particular college, and I got in touch with him because our interest matched. Hence, I applied and I was lucky enough to get an admit from this university and do my research under Professor so and so.
okay.
So then it becomes your answer
Yes.
because it is your requirement. All
Yes,
right.
understand, sir.
So tell the officer that your PhD research, like you did research for PhD,
Mhm.
similarly you also did research for your college.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you work on these two questions, I can
Mhm.
assure you that it will not be a problem for your visa issuance. Why do you want to go to the US? Why have you chosen this university? These two,
Mhm.
and of course the funding part you've already discussed.
Yes, sir.
Right? So
Thank you
just
so
focus
much.
on that. Don't go on general
Yes, sir.
answers. All right.
Yes,
All
sir.
the best. Great.
All right. Thank you, Ajay. Mohammed, if you're here, you can switch on your video and ask your questions.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Hi, Mohammed. How are you?
Fine, sir. Nice to meet you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Tell me.
Sir, sir, my visa got two-time refusal in fall 24, sir.
Okay.
And second attempt, the visa officer only asked two questions, sir.
Right.
What change you have done in your profile? I
Yeah.
said, sir, I only improve my communication skills and this, sir. And they suddenly reject my visa, sir.
Acha. So, Baba, can you go back a little bit and tell me, like, what have you studied here?
Sir, I have done BCom computers from
BCom
Usmania
computer.
University.
When
And
did you graduate?
in 2019, sir.
What are you doing since then?
Since there, sir, I am working as a retail store manager at Bengal store, sir,
Okay. And what would you like to go study in the US?
in supply chain management, sir.
Great. Okay. How many universities did you apply to?
Sir, I apply for University of Houston main campus,
No, no. Four.
Worcester Polytechnic Institute. Yes, sir.
Four universities. Okay.
Yes.
Great. So, who's funding you?
My family is going to fund my education with the saving of 41 lakh rupees. Apart
Ah.
from that, I have taken a loan from Empower Finance, which is $42,000, and we have immovable asset, which is 4 crore rupees.
Understood. Now, go back and tell me your first interview. What did the officer ask and how did you answer that question?
They asked me, sir, when did you graduate? I said in 2019. And how you got this university? I said there is a Education USA fair which is conducted by Education USA, which is a official source of US higher education department. And said they said good. And he said why supply chain management? I said the world is transforming with means so many changes in purchasing like. What to say? I forget, sir, that answer, but I well explained, sir, that time.
So if I ask you today, why supply chain? So, what would your answer be?
Sir, because after completing my undergraduation, I have done some certification course from United Nations, which helped me to encourage me and motivate me to do a supply chain management. And my undergraduation project is impact of globalization and Indian economy, sir.
It's not a good answer. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Now, the thing is, he's asking why do you want to do supply chain? You're telling him because you did some certification programs,
Yes, sir.
That's the reason you want to do it. Now, think logically.
Yes, sir.
If you had done, let's say, a program on, let's say, how to become a RJ, you would
Yes,
have
sir.
gone into that line. No, you
No,
know, you see a career, you see a gap, right?
yes, sir.
You see a gap in the industry
Yes, sir.
and you see a gap in your skill sets, and you want to bridge that gap. I keep
Yes.
telling everyone, find a problem and then come with a solution. Saying that, sir, I've been working for the past 4 years, and while working, I realized that the company, they had to forego because they were not very seamless operations that they had.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
If I look at the way during pandemic, how the supply chain took over, how the operations took over, how the e-commerce took over, right? So the industry is really growing in India. And I've been working for X number of years, and I believe that these are the skill sets which are missing in. Because there are a lot
Yes.
more companies in India, those who need experts to help them establish their supply chain. So you find a problem, you are the solution,
Yes, sir.
right? Otherwise, it seems that you just got attracted while doing a certification program, and that's the reason you go. You don't know where your career is going,
Yes, sir.
right? So you've got to focus on your career, Baba.
Yes, sir. Sir, and one more dot, sir. If visa officer asks me what change you have done in your profile, what I have to say,
Right.
sir.
Okay, so let's understand, and it goes for all the students who are listening, that if your visa gets refused, unfortunately, and if you're reapplying for your visa, let's say after 3 months, 6 months, or 1 year, nothing can change, or nothing
Yes.
would have changed. Maybe you would have changed a job, right? But nothing significant would happen. So your answer should be very clear. What has changed during this time? So there are no fundamental changes. However, this time I'm carrying additional financial papers, property papers, and my new certification to show strong ties to my home country, and also my resolve to do this particular program. So During this time, I've done another certification. So that
Yes.
shows that your intention, your inclination is to specialize in that key area, and at the same time, this time you're bringing in financial papers and property papers to show strong ties to your own country.
Yes, sir.
Those are the things that one can do.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care. All the best.
Thank you.
All
Yes,
right.
we can
Thank
take
you,
it.
Mohammed. Ishita, if you're here,
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
yeah, can you switch
Yes.
on your camera, please?
Sorry that I won't be able to turn on my camera because I'm traveling.
Oh, that's okay.
Okay, no
Let's
problem.
ask you a question.
So, hello
Yeah.
everybody. Warm greetings of the day. Thank you, Mansi ma'am. Thank you, Sanjay sir, for giving us this opportunity, first of all. I'm going to US for my bachelor's in computer science to ASU, that is Arizona State University.
Hmm, Great. And so when was it that you completed your class 12th?
Sir, I did that last year in 2023.
And what are you doing since then?
Sir, I actually was preparing for JEE since
Huh.
then, and I've also taken a few courses in Python
Okay.
just to support for what I'm going to do and
All right.
study.
So did you crack JEE?
I did crack JEE, but my rank was not that good, and I was not yet very happy with it. So I planned on pursuing a degree in ASU.
All right. So what if you had cracked the JEE?
I would definitely have gone to a college and studied back in my home country, India.
So let's say the officer asks you the same question, that what have you been doing since 2023? So you say that, I was preparing for the Indian entrance. And if he says like, had you cracked the JEE, what would you have done? So what would your answer be?
I would have said that I did crack the JEE, which is in fact the truth, and but I was not very happy and satisfied with my rank.
Okay. So
So
if
that would
you're
have been
so if the officer turns around and say that, work harder, get a better rank.
no, that would be a waste of my year, and
Right.
which
So
probably
how
I
do
don't
you
want.
how do you navigate? So that's going to be really important because the officer, they're ruthless. They'll say, okay, fine, too
Yes.
bad. So so you're looking at US and JEE, but if you had cracked JEE, you would have stayed here. So the US
Yes.
was a backup, or US is easier for you to go. That's what he would think,
Yes, exactly.
right? So how do we navigate? So what you've been doing, I was doing this. I was preparing for my JEE because my focus was to, get a specialization in this particular field. And while I was doing my JEE, I did crack the JEE, and then I decided also to look at the other options and do a comparative study of the US education system or the international studies. And I've realized that it would be fruitful, or it would optimize my entire education journey if I go and study in America, because the US education is designed to match the industry requirement, which is very current and relevant. And I get a lot of hands on experience. I get to understand how the industry operates. So, all those things would really make me industry ready by the time I complete my education. Once I return back to my home country, I'll be industry ready. So,
Sure,
then it
sir.
becomes your choice,
Yes. Okay, got it.
right? Okay. So, create a
Yes.
choice of yours, not saying, oh, I wish I could have cracked the JEE. Then you'd say, stay back, work harder,
Okay,
right?
got it.
So focus, make yourself in that zone that you had a specialization in mind, you have a career in mind, and you were looking at how do I optimize my entire journey of education.
Got it.
Okay, great.
Yes. If you could ask one more question, I mean, just
Sure.
for the
So how many universities did you apply to, and why have you chosen ASU?
I'd applied to former universities, that is UMass Boston, University of Colorado, Denver, UIC, and ASU.
Hmm.
And the reason I've chosen ASU because ASU focuses more on practical knowledge, and the degree which I'm going to pursue, that is specialization in computer science. ASU is well known in the world for that. So that's why I've chosen ASU.
Great. So what are your career goals?
I'm planning to pursue computer science since I've been I've been very interested in computer science since very long,
Hmm.
and that's what makes me choose computer science as my choice for further
Fantastic.
studies.
Good. So you are a student who's been really inclined doing a computer science, and you would like to really specialize in that for a better career growth, correct?
Yes, sir.
Would you like to do your masters as well?
I would definitely consider that to be an option. If I get the opportunity of pursuing my master's in the US, that would I would definitely
I
consider
caught
that.
you.
Sorry,
I caught you. How?
got you.
Okay.
Sorry.
So what is the visa law? The visa law says the student
Okay, they don't allow you to, okay, for a specific period of time, they allow you to stay there. Okay,
exactly.
got it.
So I took you gradually there and I made you commit saying that yes, I would like to study and extend my stay in America, right?
Yes, got it.
Yeah. So that's the reason I said I
Okay.
caught you.
So what should be my answer
Right. Your
then?
answer would be, would you like to do your master's in the US? So at this point of time, my focus is very clear. I want to complete my undergrad, come back, work in the industry for a couple of years, and then decide the kind of specialization I need.
Okay.
So you're
So
not
what
saying
if they
yes.
ask me that if you want to work in the US back there?
Well, sir, because US education is very practically designed, even while studying, I'll get a lot of industry exposure. If I get an opportunity to do internships under OPT, I would like to take that experience before I come back to my home country. I want to
Mhm.
understand the India market because eventually I want to grow in India and then work here and then decide.
Basically my answer should be that open to internships, but not practically to work in the US because I have my strong ties and I really want to explore the Indian market.
Correct. So I always like to play within the regulation because, like I said, even in your I-20, it says work authorization and OPT is a part of the education. I like to play with that.
Okay, got
Right.
it.
Good.
Sir, I had a question that a few of my friends, a few days back probably, they were rejected because the officer had asked them a question on if they have appeared for SAT examination, and
Right.
unfortunately they hadn't, and that was the reason they got rejected. So what should be my answer? Because I haven't appeared for SAT, and basically ASU also does not demand for the SAT scores, though I've already given my English proficiency test, that is Duolingo examination.
Right. So your answer would be, sir, when I was applying to all these universities, and when I did my research, in fact, there are a lot of international fair that happens in India. When I met the representative and asked them, they said, during pandemic and after that, most of the universities have waived off the requirement. However, my grades have been exceptionally good. So your CGPA was good,
Yes, it was good. It was
right?
92%.
Right. So you
Well,
would say that they considered my CGPA. It was 92%, which is considered first class, and based on that, they gave me the. So the smart thing is that when, like I said right in the beginning in my presentation, the officer doesn't know you. You don't have to give a one-liner answer. Give them a little context always. So when
okay.
you give a context, then they can understand. It's not a straight, yes.
What should be the likely word limit to give an answer?
Well, there's no word limit. Like, I mean, they have not specified anywhere that you cannot speak more than 20 words. It is up to you. You know, how do you create an answer which has to be crisp, but it has to be really targeted towards my
Compact and to the point, basically.
exactly. You know. So if you
Okay.
ask me this question whether I appeared for an SAT, and you can time my answer.
Okay, so I'd like to really know if you've appeared for any examination like SAT or GRE or ACT.
Well, sir, I was preparing for it. However, when I was applying to universities, in fact, I did my research. I met a lot of representatives from US colleges, and they all saw my grades, which were very good. My CGPA is 92% first class, so they had waived off the requirements. And even during and after pandemic, most of the universities have waived off. So how much?
Okay, and got it. And so one more question that when you asked me why I was applying to, why I chose ASU basically. So should I mention about my scholarship as well?
Uh, no, because choosing
I
a
was getting this
university,
amount of scholarship.
choosing a university should not be a criteria saying that I got a scholarship. But when you say that how will you fund
Okay.
yourself, my parents are going to fund me, they have annual income of so much, savings, investments of so much, property worth so much. In addition to this, looking at my credentials, the college offered me a scholarship, so it comes right in the end.
Okay, I won't be mentioning it anywhere in this question.
Right, why have you chosen this? Because of these reasons, and I'm getting a scholarship. Not a good answer.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. It was
Thanks.
really nice talking to you.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, Ishita. We'll take last two students and then we'll spend uh, last 5 minutes in answering all of the questions. So yeah, Raghav, if you're here.
Raghav Bali.
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Yeah.
Hi.
Please switch
Am
on
I
your
audible?
video and go ahead. Yeah,
Yeah.
Raghav, you're audible.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Raghav. How are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Very good. Any specific question that you have in mind that you want to answer?
Sir, I'm a little bit very scared right now because I know my interview is in third week of December, but still I've been like shaking and shivering every day because of the thinking and like the refusals are also coming. So, and sir, I would just like to say that I have applied to Fordham University, which is in NYC, and my course is MS in Professional Accounting.
Mhm.
And I've been working since last 3 years, but this year, because of my father's health issues, I had to leave my job, and then I was just managing my father's business. He is in finance sector, so he is a firm which finances the two-wheeler customers who wants to buy two-wheelers. So I was just managing it, and I was working with my uncle as well for 1 year when he is a CA, and I was working in a chartered accountancy firm. And so my question is, sir, how should I frame this that I have this gap in this current year? Because the officer will definitely gonna ask that what you have been doing since this year. So I can say since last 2 months I was preparing for the Duolingo. I got 135 out of 160 in Duolingo, and I didn't need the GRE, so that's why I didn't took it. But apart from that, I was just preparing for the applications and all. But like, should I just tell him frankly that I was just managing my father's business, and or should I say like, what should I do, sir? I've been
Raghav, you have a wonderful case. Do you know that?
ok-
You have a very
I
solid case.
okay,
Huh. So because your father's into finance, right? You are going to go and study finance, right? And if you look at the way India is growing, so there's a lot of microfinance which is happening. There are a lot
right,
of
right, sir.
companies which have come up which are doing microfinance, and your father is already in it.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
build on that.
Okay, and sir, one more thing I can say is that as my father uncle is a practicing chartered accountant, and he is also starting a vertical in which he wants to hire the people who are excel in gap, which is generally accepted principles
Correct.
of US.
Right.
So that's why he also told me that if you are like you should study for that as well as plus CPA as well. So I was just thinking if I can frame that as well, that this masters will also allow me to be eligible for the CPA as well. So if I can say that, or should I just skip it, sir?
So why is this ambiguity? Should you say it? You should not say it. Why are you thinking two ways? I have a very clear answer.
Sir, I'm thinking that I should say it.
Okay. Okay. You shouldn't.
Okay. Sir,
Why?
but can you tell me why, sir?
Right. Because as soon as you said the gap compliances or the SOX compliances, so I immediately understood that you were also going to be doing a CPA.
Yeah.
Huh? Now CPA would be more relevant if you want to stay in America,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Because it'll give you the authority to do the certifications and do the SOX compliances over there, right?
Okay.
If you were working, let's say for GE Capital, and then going in for MS Finance and saying that I want to do a SOX compliance and a gap compliance and then do a CPA, that is acceptable because then you can say I want to come back and work with GE Capitals, right? However, you were an independent, student whose uncle is doing this business, right? Why would he need a SOX compliance? Is he a bigger company? Does he
He's a
require?
big firm. Yeah, he's a managing partner in a big firm
Okay.
who has under 8 CAs and many
So,
articles.
so, so then you should have done some kind of an internship with him and get a letter from him saying this is what you've been
I
doing,
I have.
right? So that's one. Otherwise, you can also talk about the microfinance that your parents are doing,
Okay.
right? You would say that because the microfinance industry in India is at a stage where it needs to be grown because there are a lot of people, those who need un, those who need microfinancing, you know, and
Right.
go and search how many people are doing microfinance and what is the turnover of their company. You would be
Yeah.
astonished. So you
Right.
can work on both. So that's the reason I said right at the beginning, you have a very solid case. You can work both ways,
Okay.
right? You could
Yeah.
say that I've been working in the financial sector for past X number of years, then I made a choice to come and join my uncle's company, or join this company, which is actually doing a lot of financial accounting for a lot of international clients, and we also have US clients. And that's where I realized that it's important for me to go and do an MS Finance, so that I can also work on the SOX compliance and the gap compliances once I return back to my home country, right? Because this company where I've been working, we've already, they are ready to give me a sabbatical so that I can come back and take on bigger roles. And at the same time, I also would like to contribute to my family business. So you have a very solid case. You have to build it up. That's it. You don't have to, don't go and read what is happening online.
Okay. And sir, what about if asked why this university? Uh, I have I have been following the professor who is in accounts associate, Professor Newman. And so should I mention it that I've been following this professor and he has done PhD and he's got a solid experience in accounting and analytical techniques
Okay.
of around 20 years, and I would like to be taught by him. So should I mention it or?
Well, for a PhD, that's a good answer. But for a person who's going for masters, your focus should be on the way the Fordham University has structured the entire curriculum. First, you talk about the curriculum, then you talk about the professor and his teaching methodology, which
Okay.
compared to other universities you found to be better, because he's
Okay.
bringing in a lot of knowledge of 20 years. He's doing a lot of research on these financial, Then talk about that. First, talk about the university, the way they've structured the curriculum, and then the professor. Then it becomes better.
Thank you so much, sir. I have these questions. Thank you so much for asking, sir. Thank you
All
so
the
much.
best. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, Raghav. Nikhil is here with us. So, yeah, Nikhil, please go ahead. Nikhil, am I audible?
Nikhil has to unmute.
Hello.
Yeah,
Yes,
Nikhil.
Nikhil.
Just a second. Yeah. Am I audible and
Yes.
visible?
Yes, you're absolutely audible, Nikhil.
A very good evening, sir.
Hi.
Uh,
How are you doing?
yeah, I was actually trying to get a mark because my interview is actually on 25th of November.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been listening a lot about refusals in Delhi, and also I'm really grateful for the opportunity, sir.
Well, that's great. But like I said right in the beginning, if you looked at my screen when I was doing a presentation, the number of issuance have increased
Yes,
in
sir.
the last 15 years, So,
Yes,
so,
sir.
so first is like, not only to you, but all the participants those who are here waiting for their interviews, uh, focus on being positive, focus on yourself, right?
Yes,
That's what I keep telling everyone. You got to build up a storyline for yourself,
yes, sir.
until you build up a storyline for yourself, then you're lost in the maze what other people are saying.
Yes,
It's
sir.
other people's story. So don't get into that, please. All right.
Yes, sir.
So tell me your story.
Yeah. So actually, I graduated in 2024, sir.
Huh.
Recently, and I'm trying to pursue my higher studies in data analytics because I actually have an internship from 2023 for a month. After my third year, I landed an internship at a IT company, and I don't know why, but I like dealing with data and also because I was actually working on a project. It is actually related to a fintech company, so where we had to deal with a lot of data and try to come up with effective solutions. So that's where data intrigued my interest, sir. So I
Understood.
actually am.
But where is the problem that you see and that this education can solve in India?
So I feel like there is a lot of startups coming up in India right now, sir, because everyone is trying to get an opportunity to put a company of their own, and I feel like data has a lot of scope, sir. I feel like if I'm not wrong, in all of the industries, a data analyst or a data scientist can help make it a better place. Because I feel like one of the greatest examples is the e-commerce, sir. As we know nowadays, Amazon Prime Video or Netflix are some of the examples where user can make sure that he gets a better experience out of the product by giving in some data, and where a data analyst can develop algorithm and give them suggestions according to their needs. So I
Okay.
feel like that is an upcoming field in computer science, and I feel like pursuing my higher studies in data analytics
So
would
understood.
help me land a good
Right. So
job.
understood that, data analytic, and what do you say? A person who's an expert in data analytics can come and help, churn out the data and
Yeah.
give them the right kind of data so that,
Yes.
whether this would be working or not. But have you
Yes.
identified an industry in India that you would like to come back and work with? Let's say that it could be, let's say, a government store, which is let's say a retail store, but he doesn't know how to grow,
Okay.
or there could be a grocery store, or let's say a home chef,
Okay.
or working couples who want to get into fintech. So you got to tell them that this is what you've identified,
Okay.
so why do you want to go to the US? And so you've done your bachelor's here.
Yes, sir. I've done my bachelor's in computer
All
science.
right. So I've done my
Yes.
bachelor's in computer science, and while I was doing my bachelor's, I had the opportunity to do internship with these companies where I was introduced to data and how data can actually help in making better decisions. If we talk
Yes.
about companies like Microsoft, Yahoo, Google, they all are working on data to, you know, help the
Yes.
the end client, So, and also looking at the way India has grown in the past 10 years, there's a lot of e-commerce companies that have come up. However, they
Yes.
come up, but they fail because nobody is there to support them with data.
Yes, sir.
So I would like to go and do my master's, specialize in data analytical, so that I can come back and progress in my career. So you need to
Sure.
give them the real context.
Yes.
Okay. So try and create that kind of a storyline.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Great. So how many universities did you apply to, and why have
I
you chosen?
actually
Yeah.
I actually applied to 4 universities, sir. I actually applied to Northeastern University. I applied to George Mason University, and I applied to San Jose State University and Lehigh University. I'm yet to get a answer from Lehigh University, sir.
Okay.
And I have received admits from 3 of the colleges. And I have preferred to choose San Jose State University because it is situated in the Silicon Valley, and I feel like me moving to San Jose. Okay.
Why?
Because, sir, usually one of the biggest advantages of that college is
Is that
definitely the
there is a lot
curriculum
of
and the.
startup culture there.
Okay, sir, I feel like the point I was trying to say is that in San Jose State University, the professors are actually a part of the industry itself. There are some professors who are
So
huge.
don't say that it's situated in Silicon Valley. Right. So why do you want to go and study in this particular college? So based on my requirement, but I want to specialize in masters in data. I applied to 5 colleges. I've got 3 admits, and I've chosen the University of San Jose because I really like the way they've structured the program. They're emphasizing more on data analytical, data science, data, you know, da da da. However, and most of the professors are from the industry. They bring in a lot of industry knowledge, right?
Yes, sir.
They also bring a lot of industry professionals to come and talk about what's happening in the industry real time,
Okay,
right? So that's how you can change the answer. So as soon
sure.
as as soon as you say that I've chosen this university because it's situated in Silicon Valley, I stopped listening to you,
Okay,
right? And you can't
sir.
stop me from, not stop listening.
Yes, sir.
I can immediately, make a judgment, or similarly the visa officer would. So that's the reason I said no. Okay,
Okay,
right? So give him a context rather than saying it's situated there.
sure.
Okay, great. So how will you fund your education?
My family is going to sponsor me, sir. I have also secured an education loan of 60 lakhs. My father has some savings of around 50 lakhs, which translate to $80,000, which will cover my living expense as well as my tuition. And we have some immovable assets of around 3 to 4 years.
Good. So how many siblings do you have?
I have a single sibling, sir. She's an elder sister.
Where is she?
She's in India right now, sir.
Okay.
She's
Do you have,
pursuing her MA in
do you
psychology.
have relatives in the US?
No, sir, I don't have any relatives in the US.
Okay. So why can't you do a similar program in India? Why go to the US?
Sir, as I was trying to say, I feel that the program I'm getting into has a more industry focused curriculum compared to what I am being offered here in India. And I feel like one of the major selling points for me was the professors, because the college has a lot of professors that are actually working professionals in current IT companies and all. So I feel like their experience would help me in gaining real time knowledge rather than me pursuing the theoretical part of the course. So that's why I prefer to go and pursue my higher education in the US.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So once you graduate, you have a lot of options to work in America. Would you consider working there?
Sir, maybe if I found an internship opportunity during my OPT, I would definitely love to get some experience, and I would prefer to come back to India and find a good paying job, because I feel like there is a lot of opportunities in India for the field I'm in right now.
Good, good, very good. So did you appear for the GRE? How
I
much score?
scored 292, sir, actually. But I don't think any of the colleges needed a GRE. Most of my colleges accepted my IELTS score, which was the English proficiency test.
Okay, so good
Yes, sir.
answers. Look, when we started off, now you're very relaxed.
Yes, sir.
You know the answer, you know the context, you know.
Yes,
So your answers are coming, so I cannot hear the nervousness in your voice now.
yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
the interview is going to be very simple. It is going to be the officer wants to know you,
Yes,
right? So just prepare yourself in the sense that, okay, I want to study because I want to solve this problem. In order to solve
yes,
this problem, these are the subjects that I want to go and study. And this is what I
yes,
see in India, and this is how I can come and contribute. That's it.
sure,
It's as simple as that.
sure. I
Okay.
feel like the dynamic changed because when I was starting the mock interview, it was like I was trying to win a battle over you, but slowly it turned into a conversation. So I feel like that's a great takeaway from the mock I've had. I would
Okay.
rather, I think it's a better to have a conversation rather than, try to fight my point. So
Exactly.
that was a great learning from the mock, sir. Thank you
Right.
very
And
much.
you've really put it very nicely.
Yes,
As a person who's taking it, you must know that it's more like a conversation. It's more like knowing you, telling yourself, rather than an interview and a battle, like you said correctly. Wonderful
yes,
takeaway. I'm really happy, and I can see
thank
that
you very
smile
much.
and the calmness on your face
Yeah,
now.
yes, definitely, sir.
Good.
This has definitely helped a lot, so I can calm myself down. And I used to think that the interviewer was going to reject me in all cases. So I feel like it is more of them getting to know me and try to accept my visa now. So that really helped
Exactly.
me a lot.
Perfect. Perfect. Very
Thank you,
nicely put.
thank you, sir.
All the best. Thanks, Nikhil.
Thank
Thanks.
Thank you, Nikhil. We have one more Nikhil here who has been constantly requesting me to give a chance. So, sir,
Sure.
I would request you to spend 5 more minutes with him. I think his
Okay.
interview is on 25th, so it will be really unfair. Yeah,
No, no,
Nikhil,
that's
please
fine.
go ahead.
Absolutely.
There are
Yeah,
3
Nikhil.
Nikhils on the screen right now. I
Hi,
am
Nikhil.
confused whom to give access, what to do and not.
Great.
Hello.
Great.
Hello,
Hi,
sir.
Nikhil.
Oh, Nikhil. Okay. Let me
He
Anyway,
just.
what's
also
your
got
name?
confused.
Yeah.
Uh,
Himself, he's confused a bit.
Yeah,
uh, I don't know what happens.
That's okay. What's your name?
go ahead.
Sir, my name is Arnav Ghate.
Arnab.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Oh,
Great.
nice.
Okay. So give me a little context on yourself, Arnab. What are you doing currently?
Sir, currently I'm doing a job as a software engineer in Pegasus Technologies.
Okay. And how long you been working now?
Sir, I'm a 2022 graduate basically, and I did 6 month intern, and I worked for 1 year at EY. Then after that, I changed my job to a startup in a software engineering field, which primarily is an interdisciplinary job which focuses on hardware and software.
Okay. Good. And what will you go study there in the US?
I'm going to study Master of Science in Electrical Engineering in San Jose State University.
Okay. So your whatever you've studied, whatever you've worked here, and now your masters, how do you club it together for your career goal?
Basically, in my job, I've primarily gained the corporate experience, and it was really helpful to gain some communication skills. Secondly, the in my job we basically integrate the hardware and the software part, and it makes it so pretty interdisciplinary. Basically, we are currently working on IoT systems in my current company, where we use biometric systems and integrate it with the student management portal, which really help with a good integration and useful use case of the electrical and electronics engineering, which I'm going to pursue in my master's.
Okay. So what kind of industries, what kind of new products that you're looking at will be launched in the future?
Mostly, if I see regarding electrical and electronics engineering, um, uh, new chipsets can be manufactured, and new type of AI, as AI has entered into the market, so it really requires good amount of chipsets to process that. For example, good processing GPUs can be launched in the near future markets, as well as
So hold on. So GPU are used where?
GPUs are used to process complex algorithms, basically.
Okay. But where is it used? What is the use of getting a new GPU?
GPUs are used in many sectors, for example, video processing, and uh, to perform complex computations like Bitcoin mining, and many other applications are also there.
So hold on. So what now you have to give a real context. Okay. You would say that banking system is changing if you talk about the financial sector. So GPU, a new artificial intelligence chip has to be, manufactured and it has to come into
Yeah,
play. So give a real context.
it is also used in training machine learning models,
Correct.
basically.
So mention those.
Hmm.
So machine learning models where? Who would use it?
Many vendors are there, for example, Microsoft, OpenAI. There are
Okay.
many vendors which are using basically GPUs are the raw material for every company currently.
Okay. Every company. Okay.
uh,
So let's say that I have a
which
restaurant.
relies on artificial intelligence.
Correct. So now talk about that. Okay. So
Hmm.
why do you want to go to the US? Sir, after completing my bachelor's, I've been working in the industry and I've seen that machine learning and artificial intelligence is really, taking over. However, we also need people in the hardware and the chip designs. So I want to go and study this so that once I return back, I can contribute in chip design so that it can be used in various sectors, whether it is healthcare, whether it is financial sector, whether it is video, because Instagram or those things are really taking over. So
Mhm.
talk about those real connections.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sir, basically that was the major doubt. Basically, because many people are working as my base native field was electronics engineering in my bachelor's 2022. After that, I worked as a senior analyst in EY, and after that, I am working as a software engineer. So basically, I have to establish a strong link. That was the main first point you have covered. It very good.
Right. So that is very important because once you cover this,
Hmm.
then your future goals also are in line.
Hmm.
The choice of college is also in line.
Hmm. Sir,
Because
any
some
more
people,
questions? You can grill me as far as you can. Means I wanted to get
right?
ready.
So now you've understood why do you want to go to the US, and I've did my bachelor's and then I've worked in the industry, and
Yeah.
that's when I realized that chip design is going to be the next big thing because
Hmm.
it has to be incorporated and a link between artificial intelligence and the hardware, which can be used here, right?
Yeah.
So why have you chosen this particular college?
Uh, I have chosen San Jose State University because the professors are really good here, and the field of study really aligns with me. For example, from I have researched regarding one of the professor, that is Hanon Wang, who is really working on computer architecture, which is like a core part of the microprocessors and electronics
So
field.
hold on. So your answer would start from here: the microprocessors, the
Hmm.
hardware, and how do you link it? So why have we chosen this university? So because I was looking at a very specific program where I could also get knowledge and the curriculum which included hardware development, how do we integrate these things? And based on that, did my research, applied to 5. However, when I heard from this university, I did not pursue the others because it was giving me this curriculum and this professor has done a lot of research which really aligns with what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, then it becomes your answer. I keep telling own the answer.
Hmm.
Okay. Not
Yeah.
that don't go vague.
Hmm.
Be specific. So bring those specifics right in the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Good. All right. Now, how will you fund your education?
Basically, I've taken an education loan of 50 lakhs, and my parents are also going to sponsor me with around $60,000, which is equivalent to 48 lakhs.
So it's now let's for all these students and for you as well. Like I said right at the beginning, the officer doesn't know you. He's got a couple of minutes to make a decision, right? Any interview is subjective. What you say, what I understand, could be two different things, right? And
Yeah.
you cannot stop me from stop listening to you. As soon as you said I've taken an education loan, I may stop listening to you,
Oh.
right? So my processor works. This guy doesn't have money. He's going to work in the US to repay the loan. He does not have financial ties. He's weak,
Oh.
right? So we need
Okay.
to reverse it.
Hmm.
How will you
Basically, I
fund
am.
yourself? Go ahead.
My parents are going to sponsor me with a savings of around 60,000 dollars, which is equivalent to 48 lakhs,
अच्छा वो
and
equivalent का बताने का जरूरत नहीं है.
हाँ,
60 lakhs. Enough.
and in additional, I will be taking a loan from HDFC Credila of around 50 lakhs rupees.
Correct. So how will you fund yourself? So my parents are there to fund me. They have savings and investments of about 60 lakhs. They have properties. In addition to this, I've taken an education loan which covers my tuition fees and living expenses. Understood?
Yeah.
Okay. So your takeaway is that you have the answers right in your mind, but you didn't know how to structure them. Okay. So structure the important things first.
Got it.
So why do you want to go to the US? Integrate it towards the GPU and how it will help solve the problems in connecting the various industries. Okay. This university, again, the program first, then the professor, and then the choice of college.
Okay.
Funding, parents first, then the availability of funds.
Got it.
All right. So restructure your answers.
Got it.
Good. Any other question?
So this was my overall profile. Means in San Jose State. You can grill me more. Means I'm ready to take
right.
your.
Okay. So I've heard a couple of times you say that you're going to San Jose. Why are you choosing a state? Tell me something more about San Jose.
Basically, San Jose is located in the west coast of California. It's near the west coast of California, and it's the I've read many documentaries regarding San Jose State University, and I've really heard about Steve Wozniak, who is the co-founder of Apple, and Intel Museum is located, and most of the innovations in the semiconductor industry is happening in San Jose and near California itself, as well as many tech conferences like GitHub conference and research related conferences happen in California. So it will be really proximity for me to visit there. So San Jose State will be the best. I consider it.
Okay. So did you understand why did I ask you this question? And what answer you gave and what is my mindset now?
Yeah, means I think I did some blunders.
Yes. Okay. So when you're saying that I've chosen this university, you emphasized on San Jose, right? And then again you said San Jose. So I said what I understand is you have researched a lot on San Jose. Can you tell me about San Jose? And you got into that web. They said that it's not the San Jose. I'm talking about the university. That San Jose State University is a great university because it has the best course content, the curriculum, the way they've structured it, the professor so-and-so is designing all these. And also the professors over there encourage students to attend conferences on various subjects which are related to GPU.
Okay.
Then it is not you. It is the professor's choice.
Oh.
Right? So shifting the entire paradigm. Otherwise, it seems that you're not going to the university, you're going to San Jose.
Means in the first go, I've heard like you said ki describe about San Jose, so I've started describing like that.
Right. So I caught you, na? You said in the previous two answers, you emphasized on San Jose. So then I took that question.
Oh. Got it.
All right. So talk about the university, not the state.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Great. Okay. So what do you plan to do once you graduate? What are your future plans?
Mostly after graduation, after my 2 years of study, I would like to head a I would like to be heading a I would like to join. I would like to head a program in a semiconductor industry in India, and will join at a better position mostly to get a good grasp on advanced topics. And I will be heading a team and guiding juniors regarding the knowledge which I have gained in USA for 2 years.
So I keep telling everyone, and once again, when you say that I want to come back and work in India, is not enough.
Hmm.
So what are your future plans? So companies like XYZ are already in India. They have already started working on the GPU. They're already started working on new products. So I like to come back and work with these companies so that I can, lead a team, because the advantage of studying at San Jose State University is that not only my core subjects but electives in management would help me lead a team
Yeah.
in India.
Yes.
So that's how you navigate the answer.
Hmm.
Okay. So name the companies, what they're doing, what will you study in America, and the electives in management to come and lead a team of players.
Yeah.
That's how you show your career growth.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So all the best, and we can have now other people.
Sir, was it approval? Means, is it approved?
No, so we had a discussion, Baba. So if you give me the answers, then I'll give you. Your answers were little here and there, so I had to make those corrections.
It was. I thought it was unstructured, but answers means I have prepared the answer, but I think it was conveying थोड़ा सा गड़बड़ हो गया.
हाँ,
It was.
देखो आपका content ठीक है,
Hmm.
restructure करना है.
Yeah.
So unless I hear the restructured answer, I cannot tell. It'll be not good. Your answers are good. Your content is good. Okay? Good. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I will not disappoint you.
I'm sure you will not. I want
Yeah.
your visa, man. Thanks.
Yes, sir. We'll mail you surely.
Sure, sure.
Yeah, now we are also keen to, we will also be looking forward to know whether your visa got approved or not. I'm sure you're in our WhatsApp group and you'll post your updates here. And I'm sure everyone had a great learning 2.5 hours here. So I'm sorry that we could not give everyone a chance, but we have another mock interview scheduled for next Friday. The link I've already shared in the chat. You can register for the event, and then we can have a session again with Sanjay Kaushik sir. And to those of you who want a one-on-one session with sir, you can go to Zolve. You can go to Zolve app or web, and you can go to expert help session. And by paying a very small fee, you will have a one-on-one session with Sanjay Kaushik sir. All you need to do is go to expert help. Uh, Click on the session you want to book. There are varied packages. Click on the one that you want to book. Fill a form, and the team will get back to you in 24 hours. So your session will be scheduled in next 24 to 36 hours. Okay. I
Great.
think, sir, you're there.
Yes.
Yeah. Sir, anything you want to say to students who have been waiting for a long time, but because we are running out of time, we could not give a chance to
I
everyone.
know, Zolve and we together
Yeah.
really want to help each and every student, but because we've got limited time, we've got
Mm.
slots, we try and cover as much topic and as much presentation to help all students. And
Mm.
if somebody did not possibly get an, opportunity to answer their questions, we would have another session. And also, if you go on to the Zolve, YouTube, you can find a lot of material over there. You can also, look at the other people, those who have already taken our services, their comments. And also we have a lot of videos that we've posted how to help, help students to get the answers. And we'll keep doing all these things for all the students, but like I said, keep your story intact. Understand the structure. The structure is the officer doesn't know you. You have to provide relevant information and drive the interview. All right. So understand what he wants to listen is, if you've chosen a university, your reason of choosing this university should be the course content, curriculum, the way it has been structured, the professors, what are the takeaways, and how do you connect it with your career goals? Funding, talk about your family funds first, and then talk about the education loan, or if you've gotten a scholarship, not start with the scholarship or the funding first, or the education loan. That's how you structure it and make it easier for the officer, not only to understand your story, but also connect your answers with the visa law. which is important to show strong ties to your home country, reason to go and study there, choice of college. All right. I'm sure these tips are really going to be helpful. But like I said, we'll keep posting these interviews and these clips, and you can also go back and look at our own sites. But thank you very much and wishing you all the very best. Prepare well. We want all those numbers to increase in the visa issuances. Thank you.